Now, mail-in ballots have actually stolen the show this election season in the United States, but how exactly do they work? Now, how are mail-in ballots sorted and counted? So let's take you across to the state of Pennsylvania, where the sorting of mail-in ballots is currently underway. Now, thousands of mail-in ballots are being tabulated at this county administration's building. The officials sort the votes by removing them from an unmarked envelope. If the ballots are missing this cover, that is the unmarked envelope, then they are rejected according to the law in Pennsylvania. The state has requested nearly about 3.1 million mail-in ballots, almost about 10 times the number in the year 2016. The Democrats requested about 1.9 million ballots. 1.6 million of them have been returned to the polling authorities. Remember, Pennsylvania is one of the crucial battleground states. It is almost a bit of a dead heat this time round between Biden and Trump. Voters here have until Friday to return their mail-in ballots. And this deadline has also been upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court, much to the disappointment of President Trump. So how are the mail-in ballots being counted? Well, the whole process is largely digitized. Officials open the envelope and then place it in a scanner. This scanner then reads the paper ballot and then tabulates the votes. The officials never look at the tabulated results until it's past midnight. It's an extremely tedious process, but experts agree that the room for rigging is very little. Right, I'm told Julian is back with me. Julian, I was just talking to you about these projections and how all of this, of course, is playing out. One issue that's in fact been there throughout the election, and something that Donald Trump has also spoken about extensively, about the extent of mail-in voting and the possibility of mail-in voting fraud. How seriously are the Republicans looking at the possibility of this happening, considering the fact that the results and the counting process will actually take days, maybe even weeks, because of the mail-in ballots that have been in fact used this time round?
Well, it definitely won't take weeks. We should know by the end of this week, according to the Supreme Court ruling. However, I think that there's been a lot of concern among Republicans when it comes to mail-in ballots, but you do have to make a differentiation between an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot. An absentee ballot is something that you fill out an absentee ballot request form, you send it into your county board of elections, and they send you back an absentee ballot. You mail that back in, and that is how your vote is counted. That is very different than what the president has been referring to as voting by mail, where there are some states, for instance, the state of California, that was just independently mailing out ballots to people, whether they had requested them or not. And when you do just mass mail out ballots like that, of course, that is ripe for voter fraud. So those were the things that the president and the Republican Party were concerned about. And that's very different than absentee ballots. So when you hear people talking about counting absentee ballots this week, that is not the same thing as what the Republicans are concerned about for mail-in voting.
All right, Julian, and just before we let you go, I want you to weigh in a bit on Donald Trump when he made that statement earlier at the RNC in Virginia. Of course, we know for a fact that he's been doing hectic campaigning in the last few days. He's addressed about 18 different rallies in the last 3 days. Did you feel that he actually looked a little bit fatigued when he came forth and said that, look, winning is easy, but losing is going to be difficult, especially for me? What did you make of that statement?
Well, I think that he was just being candid, and I think he was just being honest about the situation. Nobody knows how this election is going to turn out. The president is 74 years old, and he has done the kind of campaigning that would make a 25-year-old tired. And so he's fatigued, he's worn out. It's the end of a very contentious campaign. He's flown all over the country. He's been averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 rallies per day. So he's tired and he's weary and he's ready for this to be over with and for the election results to come in. But I wouldn't gauge anything into what he said based on that comment. I think that he was just trying to be intellectually honest about the fact that no one knows how this election is going to turn out, and we may not know for several days.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Julianne Thompson, for joining us from Atlanta and getting us all those candid insights about this Republican strategy and also what the Republicans are thinking at this point of time.